She died of hantavirus, and days later he was gone. So last time we checked into this, we were finding out that these people were dead. There wasn't much information on why they're dead. And so now we know it's not carbon monoxide, but the wife died of hantavirus. So family are viruses which can cause serious illness and even death. And it comes from these cute little mice. I used to live in a place that had a mouse infestation, and I worried about getting hantavirus every fucking day. Fever, headache, muscle aches, fatigue, coughing, nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath, dizziness, diarrhea, back and abdominal pain, blurred vision, low blood. I had all that stuff, okay? I probably had hantavirus so many times that I'm probably immune to it, because this place was so shitty and squallery. So you get it from the droppings. It's the droppings and the pee and the dead ones, right? So you could have this cute little guy running around your house, pooping all over the place, and then something hits the poop, and it out exuding into the air is this thing. It gives you the hantavirus, and it's real bad, right? Why do these super rich, famous people have mice running around their house? I don't know. I've met loads of super rich people. Sometimes they're actually a bit more squallery than you'd imagine. They don't give a fuck. They just live. They don't do dishes. Some of them have cleaning people, some of them don't. You know, I'm sure that there probably did have, cleaning people. It was a maintenance person who found them. So, I mean, who knows? Who really knows?
By stating that it is unprecedented for the Office of the Medical Investigator to make public statements about death investigations. However, the circumstances surrounding these two deaths require accurate dissemination of important information. The cause of death for Miss Betsy Hackman, aged 65 years, is hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. The manner of death is natural.
Okay.
Autopsy examination and full-body postmortem CT demonstrated no findings of trauma internally or externally.
How the hell do you get hantavirus and not know that something's wrong, and then you just die? 10 days. Fucking brutal. Okay.
Syndrome. Laboratory testing was positive for hantavirus at a clinical lab, with required confirmation testing positive at Scientific Laboratories Division. The cause of death for Mr. Gene Hackman, aged 95 years, is hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, with Alzheimer's disease as a significant contributory factor.
Gene Hackman had Alzheimer's, and nobody knew that. It was like being kept out of the public eye. This paints a very disturbing picture. This paints a picture where this lady perhaps was, not this lady, but Betty or whatever, was sick and didn't do anything about it. Maybe it didn't seem like a bad illness. And it seems like Gene maybe found her body, and because of his Alzheimer's, just couldn't put it together. It seems like maybe he was just wandering around the house for a while. Because how long was Gene Hackman still alive? February 11th, right? And Hackman died of heart disease. His pacemaker's last showing activity was 18, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's a week. So it's very possible that she died, and then Gene Hackman just kind of wandered around the house for a fucking week. Now, why was the dog left in the kennel? Like, he must have been gone, man. Like, either from Alzheimer's. That just literally sounds like hell. A whole week? That's just crazy. For years, actor Gene Hackman's doting wife, Betsy Arakawa, would do whatever she could to help him keep healthy. Whether it meant wearing a mask everywhere she went or encouraging him to stay fit by riding his bike or doing yoga on Zoom. In late February, the couple was found dead in their home. A heart-rending? That's an interesting word that I've never seen before. A heart-rending end to the life they shared. Arakawa, 65, died of hantavirus, and days later, Hackman, 95. A week later, Hackman, 95, died of heart disease. The New Mexico Medical Investigator's Office revealed Friday. Authorities working to lay out a timeline of what happened said Hackman had Alzheimer's disease and may have not realized he was alone in the days before he died. How do you not realize you're alone? Wouldn't that be more like schizophrenia? So when you have Alzheimer's, is it just that you could leave the room and assume the other person's in the bathroom? Like he just had some kind of looping awareness? Oh, that's just insane, man. That's just terrible. Clues as to what the couple's life looked like before their tragic deaths could be gleaned from their last interactions with loved ones. Close and longtime friends. How come these loved ones aren't like, I don't know. I'm sure, people live their lives and everything. I understand. It's a shame, I will say. In my opinion, it is a shame that none of these loved ones were checking in on them within this amount of time. But what are you going to do? Last time we saw them, they were alive and well. Daniel Linehan told CNN's Aaron Burnett last week. Barbara, Linehan's wife, said she had last seen Arakawa a few weeks ago at a home decor shop, and the two had opened together in Santa Fe. So yeah, Arakawa owned like a home decor shop called Pandora, something like that. They were so delightful to be around, Barbara said, adding how proud Hackman and Arakawa were of each other. Probably never seen a couple that got along and enjoyed each other so much. So that to me kind of touts another clue. It's very possible that he did see that his wife had died, and it sent him into an extreme depression, and he just decided to kind of wait to die himself. I've seen this, unfortunately, in the past. Someone I dated a long time ago, this kind of happened. Like her father, the mother had died, and the father just gave up, man. He just gave up completely. He just sat around and smoked cigarettes, and like their rent went up and they're going to get evicted. Not a move from him. Does not care. Like if the man would have easily just sat there and died. I think that's what he wanted to do. It's very sad. I think there are deep levels of depression that, things like this can happen, and it is very sad. Investigators believe she died first. Arakawa's last known interactions were on February 11th. She had a short email exchange with her massage therapist that morning, and later visited a Sprouts, CVS pharmacy, and a dog food store. A dog food store? There's not a store that just sells dog food. Before returning to her gated community at around 5:15 p.m. Santa Fe, Sheriff added Mendoza said Friday. After that, there was no other known activity or outgoing communication from her. Numerous emails were unopened on her computer on the 11th. Arakawa died from, her name is so hard to say, Arakawa. Arakawa died from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Rare disease resulting from the mice. We already know all about that. Pills found scattered around. Nothing crazy. I mean, I don't know why they were scattered around, but they were prescription thyroid medication and not related to her death. Perhaps, I don't know. Why were they scattered around then? Is that just something that, like, what she was going to take her thyroid medication and then just fucking died? The whole thing is still fucking weird, man. The whole thing is so weird. What Hackman's days looked like after his wife of more than 30 years left his side has yet to be fully pieced together. But the end came in a matter of days. Hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease took that acting legend's life, likely on the 18th, when his pacemaker last recorded his heartbeat, according to Gerald. Who the fuck is Gerald? Fucking Gerald. The device recorded, yeah, we get it. His body was discovered on the ground near the kitchen with a walking cane and sunglasses next to him. A walking cane and sunglasses. Authorities said he was in a very poor state of health. Well, he was dead. Oh, before he died. Okay. Hackman had advanced Alzheimer's disease. And it seems like he had a bunch of heart attacks. It was very possible the actor was not aware his wife had died. Okay, but what about the dog in the kennel? How could you not be aware of a dog? Like, that dog would have been barking. That dog would have been freaking out. There's no way that dog would have just sat there quietly for like a week waiting to die. It's fucking weird. As people advance in the sequence of their Alzheimer's, they become more and more reliant on a caregiver. It's unclear whether Arakawa was his primary caregiver or if Hackman had another. Like, you'd think he would have his own caregiver. They're not. People who make their own relatives be their caregiver, it's usually because they can't afford to have one. Because I'll tell you, nobody wants to put the hands of someone else's life that they care about in their hands as someone that's not a professional. Like, if you have someone that you care for and love, you want them to have professional care and professional help. And as a joke that you would think that you're capable of that if you are in fact not. So if the money was there, I feel completely certain that he would have. Other findings paint a grim picture of Hackman's last days. Investigators have found no signs Hackman was communicating with anyone. They also did not find any food in his stomach, right? Which means he had not eaten recently. Some questions may remain unanswered. Yeah, obviously. It's going to be hard to tell if she was feeling sick in the days leading up. It's possible she'd been ill for weeks. But who knows, right? She was walking around, she was shopping, she was visiting stores. That makes me feel like she probably didn't feel that sick. My detectives didn't indicate that there was any problem with her or struggle for her getting around. You know? Symptoms, okay, so from the hantavirus, symptoms can take up to 2 months to show up after contract. And they often start with fatigue, fever, muscle aches. That wouldn't be something that you'd go to the hospital for, you know? You'd probably just think you had the flu. More than a third of people who develop it may die. That's brutal. From some mouse poop. That's just brutal. So, you know, who knows if we'll ever really know what happened. They want us to respect their privacy. I'd like to respect their privacy, but I am being left with a picture of an immense legendary actor living in hell for a week and then dying. It's just crazy. So I hope we find out a bit more about it at some point.